Hello, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We have a very special and exciting guest who's going to describe to us a new technology that can help medical spas really boost their business. So I'm Nell Varinas. I'm your host. I'm with MedSpa Well, and it is our pleasure to be the host today of Beyond Aesthetic, the Business of Beauty. And this is all about how to run a med spa more profitably, more happily, and that will bring all kinds of benefits to your patients. I've been in marketing, but also a business consultant with a lot of different industry, helping executives and business leaders run their businesses better. Recently, I became a specialist in the med spa industry, and these broadcasts are meant for med spa owners so that they can do better and do well. So today, we have a special guest who's going to be talking to us about RepeatMD. It is a game changer. And before I introduce Ward, I would like to show the video to you that will explain a little bit about what RepeatMD does. So let's start that now. Wow, that's a pretty powerful piece. Well, welcome, Ward. I know. It's got me all jazzed up and excited. I'm ready to dance.
That's right. Thank you, Nell. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, I'm so pleased to have you on, Ward. And I really am excited about you and your company and the product that you have for our med spa owners. So tell us a little bit about you. So you are a former minister and also a counselor, helped a lot of people all over the country. You are well-traveled. You've been married for a few decades now with a couple of wonderful children who are building their own lives together. So tell us a little bit more about you, Ward.
Well, thank you. Yes, I did get a chance to travel a little bit. I was in the ministry for 21 years and went from the east to the west, spent some time in California, spent some good time in Texas, and I've spent a good bit of time in Tennessee, which is where I grew up. My wife and I have been married for 25 years, celebrate our 25th this year, and I've got a couple of great kids. One is my daughter's down in Houston. She's 24, and my son is here with us. He's 23. And so we've had a chance to learn a lot, to see a lot, and to work with a lot of different kinds of people. We had a very international ministry, which was a lot of fun. Interestingly enough, we spent a lot of time working with college-age students. And so that I hope it kept us young. We tried to stay young working with them. One of my favorite students, he and his girlfriend, we did their pre-marriage counseling, and then I performed his wedding ceremony. And when my kids got into high school, my wife sat me down one night and had a good husband-wife conversation of, hey, let's have you spend more time with your kids than other people's kids. And so I took that advice and made that decision to step away from the ministry. And that friend of mine whose wedding I'd performed, he worked at a diamond store, and he said, hey, you help people get married, come down and work with people who are getting married. And so completely out of my comfort zone, I got into retail and started selling diamonds and engagement rings there in Houston, Texas. And my general manager at that time is now a very good friend of mine. His name is Thomas Shipp. And Thomas happens to be the sales operation director at RepeatMD. And so we actually went on vacation to a football game together with our wives last fall, and he had already been at RepeatMD for a while and was convincing me that I needed to come and join the team there. And so after a few more conversations, I decided to leave what I was doing here in Nashville as a general manager of a large diamond store and go to work at RepeatMD. And it's really been incredible. It really has. It's been a kind of a transformational shift for me in what I do, but also how I get to spend my time. I actually now work from home, which I really love. I get to travel. I get to go to aesthetic shows all over the country. Last month I was in Orlando one weekend, and the next weekend I was in Seattle. So a little bit of a coast to coast there. But really, it's about relationships. I think that's what aesthetics is all about. It is about a relationship between the med spa and their patients. I feel like RepeatMD is a relational company. It's still a fairly small company compared to where I know where we are going. It has grown incredibly fast because of how amazing the product is, I believe. But really, it's about the people. There's an amazing amount of vision, which is a very important thing to me. You know, working for a jewelry company was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. But there wasn't a lot of vision there. It was just the same thing over and over again. RepeatMD has been constantly innovating, constantly stretching itself. And we have more and more things that I know we're going to be launching with each upcoming year. And so even though we are a fairly young company, the growth, because of the vision of the leaders and really the whole company, has been pretty inspiring.
My gosh, it seems like it was meant to be. And
Yeah.
to have a friend invite you to join him on this mission to help other people find their better versions of themselves and companies that provide the great thing. And I'm so happy for you. Now you're
Thank you.
in a life that still are you're traveling still, but you're spending a lot more time with your family. And hopefully it's also rewarding financially as well. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it very much.
Wonderful. Okay, great. So one of the many questions that I have for you that are representative of the questions that MedSpa owners would have of you are, from what perspective, in your perspective, what do you think are the main challenges for MedSpa owners? What have you come across? What have they been telling you?
Well, I appreciate that question very much. It's funny, as you were talking about what you do and what you're wanting to help your clients with is what we're trying to help them do. We want to be happily profitable. We want them to grow their business, but we want them to enjoy doing it. And getting into this really amazing field, this culture of aesthetics, and going to aesthetic shows and hearing speakers talk, learning more and more about the industry, there are some things that are exciting and just, exhilarating. And then there are other things that are sobering and challenging. One of the sobering things I heard at a large aesthetic show in Nashville just this summer, a main speaker, was talking about the business of aesthetics. And he said that 8 out of 10 practices don't make it 10 years.
That is a surprise to me. I wasn't prepared to hear that statistic. I didn't know that.
And at the same time, he said, in the same speech, he said that at this point in time, and this was a large dermatology conference, he said there were about 8,600 med spas in the U.S. in the summer of 2023. By the end of 2025, so really 18 months later, there would be approximately 12,000 med spas. So it would grow by 50%. So it is an exploding industry because it's profitable, because there is a desire in the public to get aesthetics and to be confident and be beautiful and get these services. But being profitable and being happy is not always easy. And so what are the things that keep us from being happy? And so from our perspective at RepeatMD, those are the problems that we're trying to solve, that we are trying to help work with you side by side to help you be more profitable and really enjoy it. I think the number one challenge is, how do I get my business to grow? And that's growth in number of patients. That's growth in profitability. That may be growth of your space. Maybe you're in 1 room right now. How do you get to 2 rooms? Maybe you're in 4 rooms. How do you get to 8 rooms? You have 4 employees. How do you get to 10? How do we grow? Really gaining patients. Patient acquisition, I hear every single day, is probably the biggest challenge. And then the second challenge is retention. How do we keep patients coming back again and again? Which are probably the 2 biggest things that we've tackled with what we do at RepeatMD.
Sure, with the numbers of people flowing into this space, there's more competition, so that it intensifies the problem of retaining, but also keeping and also attracting new patients. So RepeatMD saw this.
Absolutely. So the interesting thing, we were founded by some guys who were working in the restaurant industry. But when COVID hit, it pretty much wiped out what they were doing from the restaurant perspective. But they had a friend that they had built a rewards app for. And all it did was reward patients for coming, and it had a referral process. And during the pandemic, when med spas were closed down because you couldn't have that kind of human interaction, his med spa actually grew. He gained patients because of that referral process, and because he was able to stay in touch with them through the phone, through the app. And so when they were trying to figure out what they were going to do moving forward, their friend said, "Oh, hey, this app that you built me was incredible success." And that's what led us into this field. And since we've joined in this amazing culture, our founders have really embraced, hey, how we can form lives, because really that's what we see the aesthetics field doing.
Yeah.
you are in the business of transforming people's lives, giving them confidence and beauty when they didn't feel like they could have it. And so it's really neat.
Right, exactly. And it was quite an aha moment that they had when they realized that they were able to create connectivity between a business and its clients or med spa and their patients, handled through a mobile app.
I think what I see most med spas doing to attract new patients is their marketing, and they're typically using social media, which I think is a great idea. Clearly, there have been results that have come through, Google Ads, Facebook, Instagram, and so we never tell any clients to stop doing that. I think that's a great way to reach people, and the more effective you can be, the better. One of our clients who's currently having a tremendous amount of success with social media and the app together, he just did a big master class with us 2 weeks ago and is now teaching some of our other clients, for free. We've hired him to teach our other clients how to use social media more effectively, and then combine that with the app to increase sales. And so that's something that you can find at RepeatMD. You can find on our Instagram page. It's incredible. He sold $140,000 worth of packages in one weekend.
That's amazing. And I did happen to sit in on his presentation.
I know you were there.
Yes, he was very methodical, systematic, but he was able to use two channels together to create that result over 141,000
in a weekend. The challenge with social media is that getting eyeballs on your ad does not equal a patient in the chair. And so what we've done, and I think really effectively through the app, is we put together just a very simple marketing strategy that gets people into your spa. And part of that is our friend-to-friend referral button, which really has kind of turned referrals upside down. Rather than the patient who's sending the referral being rewarded, we're actually rewarding the person who receives the invite. And it makes a huge difference. I mean, imagine the first impression that someone gets who has not heard of your spa. If the first thing they hear is a friend saying how great you are and here's a gift if you come, that's a fantastic way to hear about you. Or if they're already going somewhere else, how are we going to, what's the carrot that we're going to use to lead them away from the spa they're going to come see you? That gift makes all the difference.
That's a win-win-win situation.
It is. That's right.
That's absolutely great. Yes, and also there was a little bit of buzz around the Barbie movie that helped.
Yeah, it's funny. Before I heard about what Misha did, and Misha's the name of the spa, it's up in Pennsylvania. Another one of my clients had done a very simple 10-day promotion using the Barbie movie, and I thought that was really cute. And I showed a lot of people that as I went along. But that was more of a 10-day. Hey, come in, get 20% off, and they use the Barbie promo code. And listen, grab hold of whatever's in the news. Right? I mean, the term is called newsjacking, where whatever is popular in life right now, and that could be something like the Olympics when it rolls around, or the World Series, if from a sports perspective, from the movie perspective, what is a movie that's really catchy that you could use to connect a song, even an event that's happening in your city. I'm in Nashville. Taylor Swift came to Nashville for 3 days, and one of our spas used Taylor Swift. Whatever it takes to grab people's attention.
But that, and also it's creates some fun around it. And I know, and people are invited in, and if they were rewarded when they came in to take a picture of the Barbie box, free service, maybe a free vial of Botox. That was another added incentive.
That's
but
right.
Yes, there was a lot of energy and excitement, not just around one small thing, but it kept building. I understand every day something was added, and there was postings, and Misha also understood what time people were reading whatever on their phones. So he tied into that, which is very, very smart.
Sure.
But RepeatMD was the vehicle that made this all happen.
Right. It was all through the app that he was selling these packages that we'd help him put together, and he was using the real foundation of the app, which is the rewards. When your patients feel like they're being rewarded for their loyalty to come to you, they will come more often. They will bring more people with them, and they will spend more. I mean, it doesn't matter if we're selling coffee at Starbucks or Chick-fil-A sandwiches or Sephora makeup. if you feel like you're being rewarded, you will come more and you will spend more.
Absolutely. And you'll feel good about it too.
And walk away feeling great about it. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Wow, that's so exciting.
Right.
And that's a wonderful story too to tell. Are there any others that come to mind of people who used RepeatMD in a similar way? Possibly.
There are so many. I mean, right now I've got two of my best clients who are right at their 1-year anniversary with us. And they both are running a very similar promotion called, Fall into Savings. As we turn the page on a season this week, they're using that to connect with people. And the thing is they're two very different spas, but they're doing the same kind of promotion. And that's because from our end, what we do is we have a client success specialist who works with every spa and says, hey, here's what's working over here. I think this would help you as well. I've got this one spa. It's just outside of Little Rock, Arkansas. Been with us for a year, and the interesting thing for them is, they've gotten about 3,000 people to join their platform, which is great. What they didn't realize was how much business they were losing for lack of retention. They didn't know how to follow up with people. They've got a beautiful facility. They were getting people in. And the year before they joined us, they did around $1 million in business. This year, they've done $1 million just through the retention process in the app. And so as they fall into savings this year and they hit their 1-year anniversary with RepeatMD, they've doubled their income in 1 year using the app.
That's exciting.
Yeah, my other client is up in New York, and she's been with us for about a year, and she's really taking advantage of the memberships. She has sold over 200 memberships, and because her memberships are about $700 per month because of all the things that she puts into them, her memberships every month are about $100,000 in revenue for her. So she's falling into savings, but her clients are saving, but she's winning. She is happily profitable, believe me.
Yeah, I'll say so. Let's go back. So explain exactly what RepeatMD is. It is a mobile app. So people work with you MedSpa owners work with you maybe you can walk us through the steps.
Of course, absolutely. Looking at the conversation that I had today, looking at how to reach consumers over the years. And as a 54-year-old, I'll go through my journey, 3 television stations. And so advertising, dollars to get on one of those 3 stations was a big challenge over the years. Newspaper and print media. How, I remember getting the Sunday paper and all the advertisements that they had in the Sunday paper. And then I remember the huge, as the internet came along and when .coms came and everyone had to have a website. When I was in college in 1987, 88, 89, no one had a cell phone. Today, every 5th grader in middle school has a cell phone and a lot of kids in elementary school, right? So the phone has become the vehicle for so much of our lives. It's not just for communication, it's for business, it's for entertainment, and it is for shopping. And so what we do is we build a private label app for every spa that we work with. Every med spa, every doctor's office that we work with, we build their own white label app so that if I want to get my body my cool sculpting or my body contouring, I can pick up my phone and in seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, tap, 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 make my purchase. Not just schedule, not just glance and browse and hope to wait for the practice to open tomorrow. I can actually make my purchase right in the app at any point in time. Anytime that you want to run a promotion, you want to have a campaign, we send out text messaging to everyone in the platform so that everyone at once knows exactly what you're doing. I tell on myself quite often, I've got, unfortunately, thousands of unopened emails. I've had the same email address for almost 30 years. I get bombarded with emails every day. I have 0 unopened texts. Every text I get, I open, right? And everyone else is like that. So when they get a text from your spa that's talking about this great new event or this super cool campaign or this reward that you're giving them, of course they're going to open it. They're going to enjoy opening that text and they're going to come see you.
Yes, they feel heard, they feel recognized, they feel good.
Absolutely. It allows you to really stay connected. When they see that, because they've already got a personal relationship with you because of the intimate, connection of aesthetics And so when you connect with them through their phone, which is their most personal little possession because it's got all their secrets in it, they feel connected. They really do enjoy getting that connection because they know that there's a reward in it for them. It definitely leads to a much deeper connection and more visits.
So this mobile app works on most major phones, or virtually any phone.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I again, I'll tell myself I was an Android guy for 25 years. And, my daughter grew up as an iPhone girl, and she used to tease me over and over and ask me when I was finally going to switch over. And I actually switched over my second month at RepeatMD. I switched from my Android into my iPhone, and I can use the app on either one. So yes, it's compatible with everything.
Yes, all the phones that people have. And it's
about 45 days that we just had a huge company-wide meeting today, and the average time to launch from beginning to launch is at 48 days. As of in the last month. And so in that month and a half or so, you spend time with our implementation team, you spend time with your client success specialist, who is a relationship that you carry on after the app is launched. That's the person that you'll continue to talk to and work on, continue to keep your app updated. Yes, it is completely white labeled with your logo and colors, all of your menu of services, everything that you sell, we put onto the app, and we help you customize packages and memberships. 7 out of 10 people who frequent a business want a membership. And I have seen we've got clients who have membership monthly of $20,000, $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 every month just in memberships on top of the services that their members purchase. That kind of recurring revenue, you used the term game changer at the beginning.
Yes.
That is a game changer. We're talking about growing your practice. There's so much you can do when you know that you've got that revenue coming in every single month. You work so hard. I mean, imagine 10 days from now will be September 30th. You've worked so hard. And then you start October 1st. How would you feel if you already knew that you had $50,000 in memberships coming in versus a lot of spas start the month at zero, and they got to go at it again. And they got to work super hard again to get themselves to profitability. When you've got that kind of recurring monthly revenue, it just changes the game.
It sure does. You're not at square one again. You're actually have a leg up.
Sure. And with the memberships, your patients feel like, hey, I'm getting to enjoy exclusive member-only benefits. It's the Restoration Hardware model. Restoration Hardware, it's a great store. There's one in Nashville. I love taking my wife there and looking around. But that's typically what we do. We just look around because it is some high ticket there. But everything that they sell, they show you the price and the member price. And if you have a membership there, you get significant savings. No one is going to confuse Restoration Hardware for a discount store. No one should ever come to your spa expecting a discount. You work too hard. You're too good at what you do. Your equipment, your products are too high end for someone to get a discount. But with the memberships, you can offer them exclusive member-only benefits, which give them a price break on some of your services. But they also, because they have a membership dues, you're still profitable, but your patients feel like they get something special.
Yes, and they're coming back more frequently.
And they come back more frequently. And they get introduced to more of your services. That's the other thing that we do with the memberships when we build them, is we build in things that they don't normally try. Most people go to a med spa like they go to their favorite restaurant. They trust it, but they usually only trust one or two things. I know if I order this on the menu, it will taste delicious. So they don't expand their palate. They don't look at the other side of the menu. If they only knew how good these other services that you have are, they would buy packages with them in it. So a little taste of that, and that allows them to purchase more in the future.
Right, sure. And do you also provide training for the staff on how to use the RepeatMD app?
Yeah, that's a huge part of the whole process. As we're going through with the implementation team, building the app together with you, we're doing training, and then before the launch is one last big final training that says, hey, and believe me, anybody can use the app. It is very simple. And we wanted ease of purchase to be one of the key factors. We wanted people to be able to sign on to the app within seconds. You go from scanning your QR code to downloading the app on your phone in literally 30 seconds. It is that easy. The longest thing it takes is typing your name in. That's the hardest thing to do to get onto the rewards program. And then making a purchase is literally click, 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 and now you've purchased it. The only thing that might take a little bit longer is if you use the in-app financing that we provide. We use Affirm financing right inside the app, which is obviously the biggest financing company in America right now, Amazon, Target, Walmart, the highest approval rates in the industry with a super low cost to the practice, lower than anything else that's out there. I promise you that. It's a game changer when someone can on their couch at 9 o'clock at night, use financing that saves them money and saves you money.
And that's loaded onto the app. It's built in.
It's built in with every single service that you offer. They can finance it with Affirm.
Yes, that's absolutely. So when patients are in for a treatment, the practitioner can help them download the app. So
Right.
It's as easy as that.
Yeah, it's as simple as when they check in, you say something to the effect of, hey, we have a new check-in process that allows you to access our memberships and rewards. And if you go ahead and scan this QR code right here, we have a $50 gift for you.
Nobody.
So they download it, and then yes, while they're there, getting their service done, it is literally one of the easiest things in the world to use. And I've got an 82-year-old mother. She's had her cell phone for 25 years because the grandkids. She can use it. Again, it's so easy. It is really so easy to use. And so right now, as a member of Generation X spends more on aesthetics than any other age group, closely followed behind by the millennials who are hot on our trail. And they are your target, right? They're your target audience over the next 10 to 15 years because they will grow into spending the most money on aesthetics. And so they've lived with the phone their whole life. It's glued to their hand. If you don't have an app, especially a rewards app that's really connecting with people, you're missing out on so many sales. Mm-hmm. If your cash register is opened 40 hours a week, 2,000 hours a year versus 9,000 hours a year, we want your cash register open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Right. And most people, I think, might assume that a mobile app is fairly expensive. But you were telling me, well, RepeatMD is committed to making people happily profitable.
Absolutely. It's an investment in the practice, but it was interesting when I was in Orlando this year, this last month, I had a great conversation with a gentleman who did financial planning and advising of MedSpas. And he and I spent a lot of time together over the course of, 72 hours. We just kept running into each other, kept having conversations. And near the end of the conference, he was telling me how much he enjoyed the app and what it looked like, and the presentation that we had done on stage there at that conference. And he said, where the greatest thing about it is that write it off on your taxes. And it was so funny when he said that. It was such an aha moment for me because I had never really thought of that before. And so while there is an upfront build out cost and even a monthly fee to run the app, it's all tax deductible. So you get it all back at the end of the year. Although the app pays for itself so many times over in new patient acquisition and in the financing that you get so many more sales, you really won't even think about it that much. It's a practice changing tool for sure.
Yes, definitely an investment in one's own business.
It's
one of the pieces of equipment.
It doesn't cost as much as, again, it's a med commerce platform, right? You are just like an e-commerce platform. It's a med commerce platform. You're selling your services 24 hours a day. And really that's when most people are purchasing on the phone, which is at night. And we are committed to helping our clients, be as successful as possible. The build out cost for us is so much less than it would be if you tried to do it on your own, because we now have all our systems in place. We have all of our, engineers and all our software builders, because we've done it over 3,000 times. We are able to produce a quality that you just can't get on your own, no matter how good the builder is. And we can do it at an incredible price. This month, the next 10 days, we have our best price that I have ever seen at RepeatMD to build the app. And so I'll talk about that at the end, but it is an incredible opportunity.
Right. Yes, I'm excited about it. And I encourage our listeners to give Ward a call or email him. Or actually, I'm going to be putting the booking link for Ward in the description for this video, so you can get a hold of him. And I was going to lead to the idea that most people think that mobile apps are super expensive, unaffordable even. But because RepeatMD has so much research into this and they specialize in it, they've been able to bring the prices down so that it's affordable to the med
Absolutely.
spa. It fits in most people's budgets, and it's a gimme in some cases.
Yeah, I really believe it is. I mean, the app pays for itself. On average, our clients get about 80 new referrals in the first 3 months.
Oh, that's great.
Imagine getting 80 new patients in the next 3 months. If you got 8 new patients in the next 3 months, it would pay for the app. 2 new patients a month, and the services that they get would pay for the monthly of the app. It's that simple.
That gets my attention. I'm perked up to hear that. That's amazing. Yeah. So I encourage everyone, yes, do get in touch with Ward and learn how you can do yourself a favor with this RepeatMD mobile app. Very powerful tool. Okay, so I have a few other questions. Okay. A deep dive. Okay, great. What is in the roadmap for development in the RepeatMD app?
The future is really, really exciting. There are some amazing things. So I'll take you on a little bit of a journey. Let's go back to the beginning. I'm talking about four young men in their late 20s and early 30s, our friends. They work in the restaurant industry, and now they stumble upon this idea, build an app for med spas. And so over the last 4 years, as they've developed that, they are incredibly visionary, and they've really caught hold of this space and taking care of patients. And so as we go forward, there will be more and more software and development for the patient experience with you, the med spa owner. Right now, we just launched our second version of the app. So as I mentioned, the first version of the app just did rewards and referrals. Then we were able to add some retention. And then after almost a full year and a half where all we did was rewards, retention, and we had the marketplace where our clients could sell their services on the app, it wasn't enough. We had to get better. One of our pillars is constant, never-ending improvement. And purposeful innovation. Those are two of our biggest pillars. And so innovating, improving. How can we make the app better? We went and hired really the best web app builder in the game. She worked with Target. She worked with Bergdorf. She worked with Neiman Marcus. She is incredible. Lottie is her name. She's from New Zealand. She's at our New York office right now, and she is just phenomenal. Today at our all hands meeting, she was the main speaker talking about all the things that we're doing for the second version of our app, which we launched in a beta version this summer, and it's just getting better and better. And so there were several things that came out in this V2 that just make it easier to shop. It makes to do their own campaigns if they want to. Now, I mentioned that you have the client success specialist. So anytime that you want to contact us to do we're happy to, but we're making it easier for you to do what you want to do, because some things you want to do very, very quickly, and some things you're okay waiting a few days for. So so that's the newest in version 2. There's much more accessibility by the med spa owner to do what they want to do.
It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so one other area that is of concern is the security of the information that goes on the mobile app. How does RepeatMD handle that?
Absolutely. So when it comes to their credit card, that's the biggest thing. We go through Stripe, who is one of the biggest marketers in the world for transactions. Their software, their security, you just can't get any better than what they have because of how big their platform is and how much they put in. So we've had zero security issues in the 3 years that we've been there. And then we know from the patient perspective and from the practice perspective, guarding your information is one of our highest priorities. And so that is a constant thing that we're talking about. Again, exceeding expectations is another one of our pillars. And so we feel like we exceed expectations when it comes to security and making sure that patient information is protected.
So that patient information, does it reside on your servers? Where does the patient information reside?
It does. Now it's in the app, obviously, so the practice owner can see it on the admin page, and the patient can see it in their phone. But yes, we've got that. And so at any point in time, that that information belongs to the practice. And so let's say for whatever reason, a med spa owner decided that as a business was concerned and they were going to no longer need the app. So we would shut down the app and we would then give the business owner all that information so that we wouldn't have it. Right. That's not ours, that's yours.
Amazing. All right. Well, that make it very seamless, and actually, there's a lot of confidence in how that is handled, and respecting the ownership of the data.
Yeah.
Great. So does the app integrate with any common software that a med spa might have inside its business?
Yeah. So that's one of the next big steps is integration. Right now, we do not integrate. And so I would say there's about 20 EMRs. There's probably more, but there's about 20 that that my med spas work with on a regular basis, because they're all a little different. Just being able to, at this point in our journey, being able to integrate with every single one of them individually is not our goal. What we know that you've spent money on the EMR, you've got your own booking system, and so what we do is we link to your booking page. When a patient makes a purchase, we simply provide a link that goes right to your booking page, and they can book their appointment that way. And so that it does not interfere with the system that you already have in place. But because we work with so many, we found, Aesthetic Record, Aesthetic Pro, Zenoti, MindBody. I mean, there's so many different ones. We work well with all of them. We don't interfere with them.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of thought being given to the design of RepeatMD and how it's going to be serving the medical spa industry, as well as other medical industries. I know this is an application that can be applied to other medical practices. Not
absolutely. I spoke to a woman's wellness doctor in Corona, California. So yeah, there are so many different applications. Anything that is a cash-based service, we can put on the app and we can help you sell.
Right. Yes, and they all have the same problem that you solve, and that is to attract and retain patients.
That is right. Last month was our second most successful month in launching. We launched 152 new practices in August. We're over 3,000 practices now, and really just enjoying what we're doing. I mean, it is a tremendous feeling right now in the ownership. The CEO, the executives are just a great group of people. I think that's my favorite thing about working for them is that the time that I've spent with them. It's just nice to be around people who are very passionate and excited about what they're doing and want to take things to a whole nother level. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. So on that note, RepeatMD has been around for 3 years now.
Well, over 3 years.
And you mentioned that the founders were in the restaurant business.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit more about them and their vision.
Sure. No, our CEO's name is Phil Sitter, and Phil is third generation restaurateur there in Houston, and very visionary, and I look at vision as a gift. I mean, from the ministry perspective, the Bible talks a lot about that, and you see people who were leaders who had great vision, and then when they didn't have great vision, some bad things happen. And so I look at, there are very few people I feel like who are visionaries, and Phil is a visionary. He will not stop. I don't think he can. He just wants things to get better for the sake of getting better. And so Phil is with, his friends, and they just had this desire to try to change the industry and do some things that had never been done before and provide a service that was not available. There was no med commerce. I mean, medicine in all its forms is one of the last bastions of one of the old guard type industries in America, that there was no e-commerce for medicine. You had to come into the practice. You had to talk to the doctor before you can make any kind of purchase. And that's just not true, especially in this aesthetic practice world that we're living in, this medicine where you've got choices. And if you want to choose to make your purchase, then you can do that. And so really it's the founding principles of the company that I think say so much about them. The first one is our success is your success. Our biggest desire is for our clients to have amazing success. That all that does is benefit us. And so our goal through building the app together with you, giving you incredible service, continuing to innovate, we want you to be successful, exceeding expectations. I've been blown away that that we will go to any length to exceed your expectations. We want, I do my pitch, I talk to you about RepeatMD, but I know that what you're going to get after you talk to me is going to be better than what I've told you. The last thing I want to do is tell you how great it is, and then you go, this isn't like that at all. I don't have enough time to tell you all the cool things that the app does. I can't give you enough examples of people and how they've grown and how they've used it. And with each passing month, we have more and more success stories to share with each other. There's no information hoarding at RepeatMD. We share everything. We want, if we've got success going on in one corner or another corner of the country, we want you to have it. You know, we're this close to launching in Canada on a full scale. The Canadian provinces are do some different things economically. It's not like the United States, but we're this close to launching in Canada. And that's going to be another big thing for us. But constant, never-ending improvement, journey before destination, which is, I think, a big part of my life personally. I've got my son is 23. He has special needs, and so I don't look at life the same way as a lot of guys my age do. I mean, I've got to enjoy my journey with my son. You know, what's the destination? I don't know. Maybe open a second or a third or a fourth spa. Maybe it's $1 million in revenue. Maybe it's 2 million. Maybe it's 10 million. Maybe you want to sell your spa for $30 million one day. We want to make it obviously more profitable. Yeah, purposeful innovation is another pillar. Throw things at the app. We're being very methodical how we're building the app. Each new thing that we add, we want it to be very purposeful in how we grow the app. And I know they have plans for 5 and 10 and 20 years, but we can't get to 20 years until doing it in your med spa. There's a purpose behind your next purchase. You know, the next piece of equipment, the next hire, the next thing that you're doing, even the next, marketing thing, there's got to be purpose behind that. And then our last one is team on a mission. I work with a consultant team, the sales team. We work with each other, not against each other. We help each other to help our clients. There is no competition. I know most of them from when I was living in Houston, and it is team on a mission. And so each part of our company is helping the other parts of the company. One is not more important than the other. And we try to bring that to our clients as well.
Right. So the culture is very nurturing and but encouraging and achievement.
The culture is probably the most important part.
So people who are users of the RepeatMD can tap into that.
Absolutely. Yeah. We have a master class every month. We have ongoing Zoom trainings. We want you to have a fun time and be successful.
And I do tune into those webinars and teaching training sessions. A lot of them are available on YouTube.
Yeah. And we usually give away a Louis Vuitton bag on each one of those. And that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and all the med spa owners, anybody
That's
who
right.
is a RepeatMD client is welcome. And those who are not yet.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. And I find the entire leadership very, very inspiring. And the 5 pillars you mentioned, I'd like a copy. Yeah. It seemed like great values to bring goodness to others.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're in the final moments of this broadcast. Ward, you're so eloquent, and you speak with such depth and such breadth and wisdom, and there's a compassion about you. And I just, are there any last words that you would like to say before we?
Sure. Absolutely. Again, Nell, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time. I've loved getting to know you and talking to you and staying connected over the last few months. And I look forward to continuing to work with you, with your clients. I want to make this a September to remember for your clients. We really believe strongly in trying to help as many people get started with RepeatMD as possible. And so we have had a really great special that we're going to run for the cost of the build out of the app. Is typically $10,000. For the next 10 days, we're going to do the build out for the app at $1,000. So 80% off. We're going to build the app. We want to try to help as many people as possible and close out our third quarter with a record number. We're trying to get as many people signed up as we can. And so to do that, the founders said that they wanted to run this special for the next 10 days. And so I would love to offer that. Please send me an email if you want to, my calendar page, and I will take care of you. I also want to make sure that if you're on this webinar, if Nell's helping you, please, when you need to let me know, or if you end up with somebody else, let them know that it was Nell so we can thank her for sending us our way. We appreciate you coming our way. We want to help people grow, and it's an amazing growth opportunity.
I admire the company very much, and even more so the people in it. And I just want to say, we started the program today talking about a MedSpa in Pennsylvania, and that exemplified to me the degree of sharing, because this owner was willing to share his secret sauce. He wanted to share his secret sauce in an effort to help other med spas. And you also mentioned a statistic earlier: 8 out of 9 med spa owners are not in business. 5 years later,
10 years later, 80% are out of business. Yeah,
out of business is because of lack of clients, lack of returning. It's the acquisition, the client management, patient management didn't go quite as expected. So loss of business. That's staggering.
It is.
So in that vein, RepeatMD to the rescue.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you, Ward. I really, really appreciate your being on the show tonight. And I'm looking forward to doing even more. And maybe we'll have you back on. You can tell us some more about advances that RepeatMD is making in this medical spa space.
Thank you. I'd love to. I appreciate it, Nell. It's been great.
Okay, great. Thank you. And we'll be in touch. Okay, everyone. Thank you again for joining us for this edition of Beyond Aesthetic